Corbin Harris, Corbin Goff, Terry Dunaway, Jackson Henderson, search here. Imagine sitting by yourself in a cold room that's just 6 foot by 9 foot with no visitors, no entertainment, and just enough food to keep you alive. This is what nearly 80,000 prisoners go through nationwide. Kentucky needs to be a role model and stop solitary confinement now. Some studies have suggested that depriving people of existing mental health issues from social contact or even a basic cognitive stimulus such as reading can significantly increase symptoms of depression, anxiety, rage, suicide, and other mental conditions. More specifically, solitary confinement can cause heart palpitations, diaphoresis, insomnia, lethargy, and other mental conditions. Also, nearly half of all prison suicides are prisoners who were once put into solitary confinement.
Our bill is to limit not get rid of solitary confinement by limiting the amount of time patients spend in isolation and lowering the degree that they spend. Prisoners will only be allowed to be in isolation for 30 days with 7 days in between each 30 days. They will also be allowed 1 book week and 1 visitor per 30 days. In the current solitary confinement, $4,837 are spent every 37-day cycle. With the new system, it will only cost $4,770 per 37 days. This will be a $950 savings a year. With all the prisoners today, it would only cost $75,000, which is spent on prisoners.
The authors used 1 minute and 38 seconds for their opening speech. They will have 1 minute and 22 seconds for their summation speech. At this time, can we have our 2 lobbyists come up and speak on the bill?
Sarah Shank, representing Sacred Heart Academy, Sturge Chair. When these individuals are totally isolated from their outside world and society, they are not able to realize the problem with their actions because they are not shown why their offense is wrong and are instead placed into isolation to discover this on their own. These individuals are not in the mental state to discover their mistakes when given this harsh punishment. While their lives are dedicated to isolation, they lose social skills to become accepted citizens for the future. The break period included in this bill gives them the opportunity to interact with the outside world and can stop the development of new mental symptoms and physical impairments. The break also has the potential to allow the individuals to learn from their mistakes through human interaction. Limiting the amount of time individuals are in solitary confinement will lower the large expense paid by the government to place them there. As a result, this bill will form individuals to become better citizens.
Alex Underwood, representing St. Xavier High School, Sturge Chair. Ladies and gentlemen, this bill is a great bill, and I urge you to rank it highly. Solitary confinement is a very dangerous thing. If we use it only for 30 days, it creates examples out of certain violent criminal inmates. And when they are put in for only 30 days, they can see by their fellow inmates that it's not good to act inappropriately in prison. If we do this, then everybody will behave better, and we will not have to worry about fights and overpopulation because of harming criminals.
It's now time for non-debatable technical questions. Do we have any non-debatable technical questions? Jones, Coffin, and can we get one more? Burke, please.
Stuart Jones, representing Oldham County High School, Sturge Chair. In section 3, you say that solitary confinement will be limited to 30 days with a week break in between. What are the current limits on solitary confinement?
Currently, there are no limits, so prisoners can be in solitary confinement for, there are many cases where they're in there for up to 4 years.
Sammy Coughlin, representing Sacred Heart Academy, Sturge Chair. In section 3, you mentioned the types of patients. What type of patients?
The only people allowed in solitary confinement at this point will be patients that have no mental conditions already defined.
Abby Burke, representing Breckenridge County High School, Sturge Chair. What will the break from solitary confinement consist of?
The time for non-debatable technical questions has passed. We'll now move on to pro-con debate. Seeing how the author's speech is a speech in favor, do we have any speeches against? Honkin? If no one raises their hand, I will. All right. Green, Philip. We have two speeches in favor. Mullins and so, the author's speech is a speech in favor. We're going to have our first speech against.
Thomas Honkin, representing South Oldham High School, Sir Chair. I am against this bill because I believe we need to take the safety of other prisoners into consideration. These prisoners who are in solitary confinement are there for murder and stuff like that. So we don't need to mix those people with people who are there for minor crimes like maybe drugs or something, because we need to make sure those people stay alive and are nonviolent. Thank you.
So that was taken as a speech against or not a speech in favor.
Caleb Mullins, representing Boyd County High School, Sir Chair. Melissa Sagey, a 30-year-old mother, died in solitary confinement after a misdemeanor assault charge. After 8 days, she died of liver failure and not receiving adequate care while in the system. Solitary confinement is inhumane. Granted, it might be needed to teach the prisoners a lesson, but 4 years, is that really necessary? I mean, the authors mentioned that it only accelerated mental diseases, right? Rage, suicidal thoughts. Do we really want to be responsible for that? Let's think about not only the protection of our prisoners, but the well-being of them as well, mentally. Let's put a stop to this bill and let's limit what can happen in solitary confinement. Thank you.
See, now that was taken any speech in favor, we'll have another speech against.
Graham Williamson, representing Oldham County High School, Sir Chair. I believe you should rank this bill very poorly because, number one, when you are placed in solitary confinement, it is because you have committed or threatened a violent act against your fellow prisoner. It is meant as punishment for trying to reinstall violent actions into what is supposed to be a place of rehabilitation for prisoners. Solitary confinement is meant to protect the well-being of the other prisoners, not to deter the well-being of one prisoner.
See, now that was taken a speech against, we'll have our final speech in favor.
Bethany Akers, representing South Oldham High School, and I reserve my right to yield to the delegate beside me, Sir Chair. I am for this bill because why not? This bill is only able to help. Solitary confinement can be so detrimental to the physical and mental state of prisoners, and I believe that the alternative punishment is necessary for their safety. What is being proposed here takes absolutely no effort or money on our part, and would in fact save the government from paying for these unsafe punishments. It is a simple solution to a big problem. This is why I strongly urge you to rank this bill highly.
Michael Reckes, representing Walden School, Sir Chair. You got to remember, this is based off of rehabilitation. You don't want to make them any worse if they're locked in a room with no one else. It only accelerates the process of mental degradation. So I urge you to go and rank this bill well, because you got to realize these criminals are people too. Thank you.
So that was taken in a speech in favor. We'll now have our final speech against.
Alex Gilder, representing Oldham County High School, Sir Chair. Would the authors yield to a series of technical questions, and I reserve the right to speak afterwards? Okay. First of all, why would it be enacted in 2014 and not sooner?
We were going to enact it at a later date because prisoners and the prisons itself will need to know to follow these rules, and they will have to establish more single-person cells because that will be the alternative punishment.
I believe that you all shouldn't rank this bill poorly because while this would possibly help the other people, the prisoners in solitary confinement, it would endanger many others, and while it would save money, it could also end up costing more than projected.
The time for pro-con debate has elapsed. The authors use 1 minute and 38 seconds for their opening speech, so 1 minute and 22 seconds for their summation speech. They may begin when ready.
To address the cons, first of all, one of you all said that they're there for murder and therefore they need to be punished. Solitary confinement is an internal punishment in the prison. They're not punished in solitary confinement for their crime. It's whenever they commit an offense within the prison. They use solitary confinement to punish them within the prison. Second of all, you said that they need to be punished, but they need to be punished with solitary confinement, and that they're going to endanger other prisoners. But they're going to put it in a single cell, which is where they are still separated from all the prisoners, but they are not going to be able to hurt them. They're by themselves.
Solitary confinement causes many internal lifelong illnesses that nobody deserves. Even though these are